All right, so you've made the decision. You are moving wherever you are now, and you're going to be moving to Texas, but you're trying to figure out what part of Texas to live in. And, you've got major metro areas all over the place. We've got Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin, El Paso, Brownsville. There are large major metro areas, and all of them have positives, they all have negatives, and they all have little suburbs. So you don't have to be in that area if you want to be close to it. But most people's decisions at this point, if they're not moving for a specific job relocation, most people's decisions are coming down to, am I going to live in Austin or am I going to live in Dallas? And I've lived in the Austin area since 1999, and I've spent a lot of time in Dallas. I've been there more times than I can count. So I feel like I'm really a pretty good sounding board on giving you my opinion on would I rather live in Dallas or would I rather live in Austin. Guys, Chris Pesek, broker associate at Pesek Properties. And in this video, I'm going to break down my personal feelings backed by some data on whether you should move to Austin or to Dallas. All right, let's jump in and get a look at it. Now, I guess I should tell you ahead of time, I live just outside of Austin. And again, I've been here since 99. So obviously my choice is pretty obvious. Okay, I think Austin's a better place to live than Dallas. And with these, I'm going to go through 5 different reasons that I have. And one of them is going to be real estate related. I am a realtor, so that's always a part of my videos at this point. But number one on the reasons that I personally would choose Austin over Dallas has to go back to all of the music and the things that you're going to find in Austin around music. Now, I've said on a lot of my other videos, Austin calls itself the live music capital of the world. It's not even the live music capital of the United States, but it is 100% the live music capital of Texas. Now, especially comparing to Dallas. And I know Dallas-Fort Worth has got great music areas and Deep Ellum, and you got the stockyards, and that's very much simplifying it if you're from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But there are really good music venues in the area. I've got a former student who plays in jazz bands up there, and I know that there's a good music scene up there. But look, it's still not Austin. In the Austin area, and when I say Austin area, I mean Austin proper, you've got 200, actually more now than 250 live music venues. Most of those are going to be downtown and in East Austin. But think about it, 250 different live music venues in the area. And it ranges from old school music venues, new school. You can find all types of different music styles and scenes and all this other stuff based on whatever you want. And it goes back to some of the events that we have here. South by Southwest, first of all, started off as a music festival, and then it grew to be a music and a film festival. And now it's a music festival and a film festival and a tech festival. And just that in and of itself kind of sets Austin on its own field if you're interested in any of those fields. I mean, the networking alone at South by Southwest, which now at this point goes over 2 weekends, the networking in film, music, and tech is absolutely insane. And the cream of the crop, the who's who of those industries are always in Austin during that time. So South by Southwest Music Festival, incredible. And then you go to Austin City Limits Festival, which is 100% a music festival, but just the different types of acts and everything else, different styles of music, types of music that you're going to see at ACL. Absolutely incredible. And it's an all outdoor music festival, I guess is the best way to say it. So we've got a spring festival, we got a fall festival, and then you've got everything else in between with all the other live music going on. And I mentioned a while ago, you've got old school music venues here in Austin. Some of my favorites, it starts with Antone's. Antone's is a great, it kind of got its name as a blues festival. Antone's is incredible. Stubbs is another indoor-outdoor. The old main stage at Stubbs was indoors, but now they've got the amphitheater outside right next door, actually right out the back door, down by the creek there. So Stubbs is another old one that's incredible. You've got the Paramount Theater. You've got the Broken Spoke. Guys, the Broken Spoke in terms of Texas honky tonks is absolutely incredible. And then, just You could go on and on and on. Continental Club, Scoot In, stuff like that. Austin is full of old school music venues, but you also have some newer ones. ACL Live at the Moody Theater is down on 2nd Street, one of my favorite places to catch a concert in Austin. You also have the 04 Center, which is just kind of starting out. It's been around for a couple of years now, but not a lot of people know about it. And the 04 Center is a great place to catch some live music. And then another one that's new, just started in 2022. It's the Moody Amphitheater. Now, the original Moody Theater is at St. Edwards, but you can tell Moody is the name of the new basketball arena and music venue down on the University of Texas campus. Guys, I cannot recommend that place. I've been to 4 shows there now. I'm not a fan of it for several reasons. You can ask me, I'll tell you. But you have ACL Live at Moody Theater down on 2nd Street. And then you've got the Moody Amphitheater, which is a 5,000-seat outdoor amphitheater right there in downtown Austin. So whether you're looking for an old, nostalgic Austin place or you're looking for something a little bit more new and a little more modern, Austin's got you covered. And that's just Austin. I could go on and on about music in the surrounding areas, all the little small towns outside that are starting to develop their own music scene. I mean, San Marcos has had a great footprint in the Texas music scene. You've got Green, obviously Green Hall, Lukenbach, Texas, anybody. Dripping Springs is growing now with their music scene and the Singer-Songwriter Festival every fall that kind of coincides with South by Southwest. You also have Wimberley, which is getting a big music scene. Bastrop is on the upcoming right now in terms of the music scene. And then you also have places like Round Rock who have this giant outdoor amphitheater, the Round Rock Amp, which used to be outside of Dripping Springs, down between Dripping Springs and Austin as the Nutty Brown Theater, but those owners moved it up to Round Rock. So number one reason why you would want to choose Austin over Dallas is if you need music and you need that outdoor life and the outside, getting out and seeing music, that type of thing. Austin's got that in spades over Dallas. Now, before I get on to number 2, I'm going to let you know if this is the kind of content that you're looking for, guys, subscribe to the channel. If you find value here, I bring value to you like this all the time. So consider subscribing if you appreciate what I'm doing. All right. Reason number 2 why I personally would choose Austin over the DFW area if I were moving to Texas, it's got to be the outdoor lifestyle and the beauty of the Texas Hill Country. Look, Dallas has got a lot of good things going on for it, but as you're driving to Dallas, okay, you're going to get some rolling hills. That's about it. You get north of Dallas, it gets really flat. I mean, if you like that, okay, that's awesome. But going from Austin out to the west, the Texas Hill Country, and it's close into Austin, right? The Hill Country starts at I-35. That's an old, ancient fault line, and we've had upheaval on the west side of Austin and moving out, Fredericksburg and all of that area. So the Texas Hill Country is a thing, and it is absolutely beautiful. And if you want to get outside, if your lifestyle is outside and you want stuff like, hiking, biking, whether that's on the road or off-road biking, the Texas Hill Country is hard to beat in Texas. Now, do we have 1,000 hike and bike trails everywhere in Austin? Yeah. There are 1,000 neighborhoods in Dallas that have hike and bike trails? Yes. But what I'm talking about is getting outside. Okay. Things like Enchanted Rock, Hamilton Pool, getting out to, going down to Blanco and Blanco Park and things like that. Okay. That's what I'm talking about when you're talking about these big hill country views and getting out in the hills and that rugged terrain out there. The towns that surround Austin. If you look for road trips, things to do on a daily, one day long road trip. I mean, I can just go through the towns that you might want to visit for different reasons. You've got Dripping Springs, again, where I live, Wimberley, you've got Canyon Lake down to the south, you've got Green, Blanco, Johnson City, Fredericksburg. And I'm going through these very quickly, but you start to understand, okay, there's a lot of stuff to do around Austin. And realistically, when you get into your everyday life, you're not going to be able to get out and do these things very very often. So you're going to need just a checklist of the different hill country areas that you want to go to. I mentioned Fredericksburg. You're also going to want to stop by Albert. You're going to want to go down to Lukenbach. You're going to want to go to Kerrville. That's a little bit further away outside of San Antonio. Again, Marble Falls, Burnett, Llano, Mason, everything up through the hill country is just absolutely incredible. And that's not even starting to touch on the different types of outdoor stuff. Again, with the hill country, you've got the main attraction from a water standpoint is the Colorado River. So if you like for water activities, and again, I know Dallas has got lakes and stuff, but it's not the lakes like you've got through the Highland Lakes on the Colorado River, starting with Lake Buchanan, then going down through Inks Lake, Lake Marble Falls, Lake Travis, Lake Austin, Town Lake right there in Austin. I mean, all of that stuff is available to you within about an hour and a half at most, going out to Lake Buchanan. So if being outside and being a part of nature and getting to see something other than just kind of flat stuff and maybe rolling hills is your thing, you really need to consider Austin. And if kind of flat stuff and rolling hills is your thing and you want to be in that type of nature, then go to the other side of Austin, go to East Austin, go to Bastrop with all of the trails out there in the the Lost Pines area, northeast of Austin, out Decker Lake, Lake Long. You can find your little bit of rolling hills. You don't need to have the big rugged stuff on the west side of Austin. So you can also get just a little bit milder landscape on the east side of Austin. So we've got you covered on both sides for that. So again, outdoor natural beauty and just having a huge variety of things to do outdoors. I'm going to give that nod to Austin also. All right, number 3 reason. And look, like I said at the beginning of this, most people have chosen Dallas over Austin in the recent years because the cost of living in Dallas, and I'll say the cost of living in Dallas is, if you look at cost of living indexes, they're actually really, really, really close. Taxes are similar, food prices are similar, gas prices are similar, and everything like that. But okay, if you look at rental values, if you look at the city center of Dallas for a 1-bedroom, one bath place, I think it's about $500 more to live in Austin than like in the central part of Dallas or something like that. Okay. But as you get outside to the suburbs, that difference in rent values almost completely goes away. I think Austin is still like for a 3-bed, it might be about $100 difference a month or something like that. I was seeing these recently in an article that I read. But now let's go to buying the house. Okay. House prices in Dallas have always been cheaper. That's what they've always told us. And it's true. The land up there is cheaper. So the builder's cost basis was cheaper. But what we're seeing now is that median value between the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is coming up really, really fast. Again, if you've got a lot more people moving there because of the low price of houses, you've got a lot more demand, and that's going to put upward pressure on that. So right now, and this is January 2024 when I'm saying this, the data that just came out in December of 2023, the DFW Metroplex average or median cost of a home is $390,000, actually just below $389 and some change. That median value in the Austin MSA, which is kind of that whole Austin area, the Austin equivalent of the DFW Metroplex, is $443,000. So we're about a $50,000 difference on the median price point right now. Okay, that still seems like a lot, but guys, a year ago, that difference was probably closer to $100,000. So the cost of houses in Dallas is coming up really, really quickly. And if you break down the data and look a little bit more at individual counties around the Dallas area, you've got counties down there that are up at $435,000 and $430,000 median price point, which is right where Austin is. And then you've got other counties there that are holding that down a little bit because the average or median price point there is around $190,000 to $200,000. So I think that median is skewed a little bit. And when you start seeing what you get for the location that you're in, the difference between your house prices are a lot closer between Austin and Dallas now than they ever have been. And Dallas is still getting a lot more of that upward pressure. The market in Austin is kind of plateaued. In Dallas, they're still getting a lot of people moving in. So that number, that median value is starting to get closer and closer by the day. Give it maybe a couple of years, maybe 1 year, depending on what happens now in 2024. And I think that price differential is going to be negligible. Now, again, that's what I do for a living. I'm a realtor. So if you want more information on that, if you want to talk to me about that, check down in my comments below. It's got all my contact information. I'm happy to have that conversation with you and help you try to find a place here if that's what you're looking for. All right. Now, number 4 reason why I personally would choose Austin over the DFW area is the weather. Now, okay, it's Texas. Everywhere's got article that every county in the state of Texas since 1950, and that's a lot of counties, Texas is big, but every county in the state of Texas has had at least one reported tornado since 1950. Okay. And I personally love Texas thunderstorms. I've got a view off the back of our house, and we get to watch thunderstorms roll in. And man, when the lightning gets to going, it can get absolutely incredible. It get a little hairy too, but it's absolutely incredible. It's beautiful. But like I said, I've lived in Texas for a while now, all 49 of my years. And it just seems to me that whenever we have severe weather outbreaks, the further north you get, the more of them and the more severe they are. Now, I went in and I got some data on this. And so when you look into the number of tornadoes, by the way, the most tornadoes since 1950 in a specific county is in Houston, in Harris County. It's over 250 of them. That's crazy to me. But the DFW area, which is at this point, it's right at the beginning edge of Tornado Alley. You've heard of Tornado Alley, goes through the central part of the U.S., Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and all of that area. Well, it's starting to shift east, they say, but Dallas-Fort Worth is still the very beginning of Tornado Alley. And if you look at Dallas County since that 1950, they've had more than 110 tornadoes in that time. Fort Worth has had about 109, and some of those may carry over from one to the next. So it may not be a perfect thing in there, but we'll just say that there's north of 110 tornadoes in that area, and a lot of severe weather, watches and warnings and stuff like that. Okay, come back down into the Austin area, and in that same period of time, Travis County has had 70 tornadoes in that same period of time. So not quite half, but we'll call it 2/3 for rough numbers, the number of tornadoes. And on the north side of Austin, that's where I think we get the most severe weather in the area. That's Williamson County. And in that same period of time, Williamson County has had, I think, 73 tornadoes in that time. So again, some of those could go from Travis County into Williamson County. But, Austin as a whole, the weather is not quite as severe as the Dallas area. So that's my first thing on weather. And if you're looking at weather as a whole, okay, Austin and Dallas, pretty similar. The highs in the summer are really similar. We're going to get days that are 100, 102, 105, 108 this past summer. And that's not even the hottest I've seen it in Texas. So that's pretty normal. In the winter, Dallas is going to be a little bit colder. I think on average, Austin is about 4 degrees warmer in the winter. So again, the weather year round is very similar. Austin's got a little bit higher humidity because we're closer to the Gulf. So if you look at weather as a whole, it's very similar. Dallas gets about 5 inches of rain more on an average year than Austin. But the thing, again, that really sticks out to me is the severe weather. And again, Dallas-Fort Worth, the Metroplex being right on the edge of Tornado Alley, or really right at the beginning of Tornado Alley. Over time, I feel like I've seen more there, severe weather. And again, the tornado numbers spell that out. So me personally, I would like a little bit less severe weather. And down here in Austin, we get a little bit less of it. All right. Now, before we get on to the next one, I'm going to remind you guys, if this content is good for you, if you are getting value out of this, click like, click the subscribe. And you know what? Share this stuff. If you got a family member that's looking to move to the area, share it with them. I'm a realtor here. I would love to help out anybody that's trying to move to the Austin area. All right, now let's get on to the next one. Okay, now reason 5 why I prefer Austin, and I think you probably would prefer Austin over the DFW area, is the traffic. Now look, we have 3 Texas cities that have shown up in the top 20 of the worst traffic in the country. Okay, Houston is number 11. Dallas is 14, and Austin is 19. Now, the top 10 is full of all the usual suspects, right? You got Chicago and Philly and New York and LA and San Francisco and Atlanta. Okay, that's the usual suspects. Everybody knows the traffic there is terrible. And Austin just barely broke into the top 20 this year. And that's because these cities are growing, right? Houston's huge. I think it's got 7 million people now. DFW's up, hell, I think it's 4 to 5 million at this point. So when you got that many people, the traffic's going to get worse. And Austin now, we're just over 2 million for the metro area. And so our traffic has gotten worse. But what I'll say overall is, and this is a little bit anecdotal, I get that. But when I'm going to Dallas, I have to plan around rush hour, okay? Regardless of where I'm going, and usually it's going through, we're going to drive through North Dallas and head to, maybe into Oklahoma or Arkansas somewhere, or we're going to go through Fort Worth and head up to Sherman or Denison. I have to make sure that I'm not there during rush hour, because I know that when I get there, if it's during rush hour, it's going to add an hour and a half to my travel time. I don't want that. And there's really not a way, at least the way that I'm coming up from the south, there's really not a way around it, because the metro area is so big here that you'd have to go way out of your way around either side. So, when you look at Waze or Google Maps, it's going to take you right through. It's just going to add that hour to hour and a half to your drive time. Just the way it is. Austin, on the other hand, if I'm going through Austin, yes, I want to avoid I-35 at all costs, pretty much at any time of the day, because it's always going to have some type of traffic on it. But when you're moving around and through Austin, there's some bypasses that'll get you by it that aren't as bad. And it's just because Austin's not as big of an area yet. So if I-35 is jam-packed, I can get over to 130 and I can go north to south. I can get to Mopac and go north to south. And Mopac traffic's going to be pretty bad at busy travel times as well. But again, it's nothing like what you're going to see in the DFW area. And if you're getting east to west, okay, there's several things. Most of them are main level streets that are going across. But you have your choice, and it's not going to take you an hour and a half to get across Austin in any direction, unless you're going, if I'm going from Dripping Springs up to Taylor, which Dripping Springs is the southwest and Taylor is the extreme northwest side of town. Okay, a normal drive time for that entire distance is an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. If I have to do it at traffic, peak traffic times, it'll probably be an hour and 45 minutes. So it'll add 30 minutes to my travel time. But again, the traffic is nowhere what it is in the DFW area. So for that reason, number 5 is the traffic is not near as bad in the Austin area, especially if you're trying to get across town. So guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know, okay, maybe you live in Dallas and you think I'm full of crap, or maybe you think, maybe you live in Austin and you think I'm right on, or you're coming from out of town and you want to answer questions answered. Let me know in the comments. I answer my comments. I'm on YouTube more than I should be. I'm just not on other social media stuff as much. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. And if I can help you move to Austin, let me know that as well. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next video.